Okay, looks like I am back up. I'm just going to take a little bit of time to get rid of these windows that keep popping up. No, I don't want to sign into FaceTime. No, I don't want to do emails. Get out of here. Okay, and we need the Firefox on. Is that going to work? Am I online? I don't know. Everything's shut down. I wanted to get back on as soon as possible, and then none of my windows are open, and so... We're sorry. We're having troubles getting your pages back. It's actually kind of weird sitting here being online while not actually being online. I think we're pretty close to being back online now. Almost. What are we doing? What's going on? I'll just move this off to the side so that you can't see it. I gotta get the chat back on here. I don't even know if we're live again. YouTube Studio. And then YouTube just changed all of their back-end stuff, so I don't know how to use it anymore. No, I do not want to set up the OneDrive. I don't know. Am I back online? If I'm back online, let me know. Videos, live streaming. Where is everything on here? I don't understand. This is when you need Andrew to fix things, because I don't understand how any of this works. There used to be a button somewhere here for doing the live streaming. Let's just click this live button. Maybe that'll do it. Boop, boop, boop. And I do not want to install the new Mojave. Come on, Apple computers, don't mess with me. Don't do this. I just need the chat to come up. And my other computer's so far away. Schedule a stream. No. More options. No. I don't want any of this. Webcam. Encoder live streaming. Here we go. I think we're back. Okay, I can see your guys' chat. I'm just going to pull this out. Let's see, pop out chat. I am dreadfully embarrassed about this. You can probably see my face going red. So I'm sorry, everybody. Let's move this. Okay, and we did it. Technical difficulties are finished, and I want to show you what I did. I moved the cam here. You see down there? Can you see? There's the power bar, and the switch is right there underneath my desk. And this isn't my desk. This has been a desk that has not been used for anything basically since Andrew left, except for shooting these videos. And so I'm used to kicking my feet around like a madman underneath my desk anytime that I'm trying to use my brain, which I will be doing on these videos. And I just stepped on the power switch button, and so that's going to be I'm going to have to fix that going forward. I'm sorry about that, everybody. Okay, that's funny. Somebody said show us some RX-7, because that's exactly what I was doing in the middle of doing when I kicked the power switch button. Okay, well that's basically the end of what I was saying anyways. So there it is, RX-7. Price for this one? Well, the compression is good, but the color change is not good. And you really don't want a car that's been color changed unless you were the one that changed the color and you really like that color. Then I don't have a problem. But if the car has been changed to another color, that has some issues. Usually the paint is not in very good condition compared to previous times. and so it doesn't last as long, only 5 or 8 years before it starts degrading. Color matching can be difficult if you haven't used an actual color code. So likely they use the actual Mazda color code on this one here. Adult ADD is a real thing. That is super true. I've always had ADD as a child, and then as an adult, I continued to have it. It's kind of an interesting topic, and I wouldn't mind talking about it a little bit, but it is kind of like a superpower at the same time, because if you have ADD, then it's not like you can't focus on anything. It's just that your focus becomes dependent on exactly what you're focusing on at that moment, and so it can be difficult to it can be easy to get stuck in a little world and then not understand what else is going on around you. But if you get stuck in your own little world, which happens to be like doing something like, a lot of comedians probably have ADD, and then it can help in that respect. What is this? We're looking at, excuse me, Bill. J.U. Fukushima. A Cedric. Okay, well, it's cool. I wouldn't want one of these cars myself because they look like they would be too difficult to maintain. But if you had a car like this in a market that it was never available in, then you can have a cool car that nobody else has. A lot of these, like estate's not the right word for it, but like rich people cars from the 1970s are generally in really good condition because people don't drive them very far. Like this one's a 1970. But only has 61,475 kilometers on it, and that looks like it's probably realistic because a lot of gentlemen and ladies, mostly gentlemen, would have a car like this, and then they just, they never drive anywhere anymore because they don't feel comfortable driving anymore, or maybe their kids drive them around if they were nice enough to their kids that their kids really like them when they're old enough. That's cool though. Yeah, body is in really good condition. Let's see what this says. Steering wheel wear and cracked, interior has stain, underside S2 and painted. S2 is medium level rust. 1970, that would be very, very rust free if it has just S2 on a 1970 car. Center side member scratched and dented, probably ran over like a rock monster or something. Various scratches, dents, and uneven paint. Hey, Mike's here. Mike, you missed the drama.
Oh, drama?
Yeah, come help me. I need like a hug.
Oh.
Rear cross member and left and right center pillar underside has been modified. Where's my hug? You passed right by with that one.
Would you like a hug?
Yes. You're fired.
Inappropriate workplace harassment.
Rear floor and end panel. This is going to make people appreciate Mike so much more now that you're here, and then you can make me feel relaxed. We're like a team.
Excellent.
Cowl panel modified. So Mike, you know what I did?
Yeah, what?
I was playing with my feet underneath the desk. You know how I always do? I stepped on the power bar and shut the computer down.
Okay.
And then I was trying to go back up, and I don't know if you noticed, but YouTube changed all their back end stuff, and I couldn't find out how to get back to the chat.
Everyone's like, "Where are you?" And you're like, "I'm coming."
I was like, "I'm coming." Okay. This Cedric, I think it'll sell for about 600,000 to 800,000 yen, mostly because of low kilometers is boosting that price up. That's like 5,500 to 8,000 US dollars. Okay. Whew. Okay, let's see what else is in the chat. Renault Clio Phase 2. I wonder what kind of Renault Clio that is. Which year it is. There are a lot of them that are really good. Uh-oh, my chat just jumped around. Brokeback Auto. Well, I don't understand the reference. Maybe someone can explain that to me.
In detail.
Yeah. Okay, so here's somebody. I have 3 questions regarding shipping and importing a Hi-Jet truck to the east coast of the USA. 1, is the 25% tariff based on the auction price or the auction pricing plus your broker fee? Yes, it's including the broker fee on there if you go by the rules. Some people don't claim the broker fee, but it's up to you if you want to do that. But that's only one of the 3 questions. Okay, well, that's the end of that question. Oh, here's question number 2. What is the typical time from winning an auction to the vehicle coming out? What do customs brokers usually charge? Customs brokers charge $250, plus you have to pay extra fees for the various different filings that you need for the USA, because it's pretty complicated. The actual costs are about $550 US, plus for K-Truck, 25% duty. For regular car, 2.5%. And then what is the typical time? You really have to think about how long it's going to take you to win the truck, because that, for some people, can be one day, first bid, you win, and some people can take several months. And so it depends on how aggressive you're going to be with the bids. But otherwise, it shouldn't be too difficult to find something within about 3 weeks on average, but it depends on you primarily. And then from the time that we purchase to the time that we export is anywhere between 3 to 5 months, depending on when the vessel is. And depending on your port, there are 1 or 2 or 3 different vessels per month. East Coast USA, there are, I think, at least 2 per month. And so most likely you'll be waiting 4 weeks or so before it's actually on a ship. And then shipping to the USA, I think, is about 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks, I think.
2 to
Depends on
3
which
weeks?
coast, yeah.
It's 2 weeks. Well, yeah. West Coast is like 10 to 14 days. East Coast is like 20 to 30, I guess, on the port, because they go to a number of ports up the East Coast. Let's see if we can find your third question, Jay Clark. Ooh. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to go to other questions. Somebody did a Mazda Unos Roadster R2 Limited.
It's seriously cool.
Seriously cool.
Well,
Okay.
I think so.
23178. Let's have a look at that, and then we'll go to a question after that.
Yeah. And that Clio from last week didn't sell.
Oh, what kind of Clio is that?
The Phase 2, the one that had the Evil Lights. That one.
This is the car that Mike wants. It has a mustache! Did you see that?
Mustache?
Oh, you know what?
Oh!
When I first saw this car, I was like, oh, just another fiberglass front end Miata. Whatever, not interesting. But seeing that mustache, that's the king. I wonder if anyone's doing the Movember. Do you know about that, Mike?
I do. It's pretty popular in New Zealand.
Yeah, pretty popular in Canada, too. I think everyone in Canada is looking for a reason to grow a mustache when their wife or girlfriend says no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is for charity, really. But really, he's like brushing it in the shower.
Or the ends, twirling the ends.
Oh, I can't stand the twirling the ends. I think it looks great
never had
up
a
until the
mustache that
1890s. And then after that, no more twirling the ends. It makes you look very hipster if you're twirling the ends.
Oh, true.
Let's see how much trouble I get in on this stream. After I finished streaming last week, Mike was like, you know, Derek, there were 2 things that you said that could be polarizing. Yeah. And now I'm gonna have people with twisty mustaches after me.
The twisty mustache crew.
This is the perfect mustache too, because it has that space in between. It's like the flamenco
Yeah.
guitarist mustache.
It's very.
So I think that these cars were just a limited edition car, not like a body kit car. But it is a little bit strange too. Where the pop-up headlights used to go. And then is this a one piece including both fenders and the front bumper? This seems like a disaster if you ever hit something. And then you have no bumper here, so yikes. It's weird looking, I think, but it's cool. Cool and weird.
Surprised mustache face.
Oh man, if this was my car, I would paint the inside of that.
Black.
Yeah.
Absolutely. People see your car, you just look
And
at
if you
them.
look at it like a face, it's like a person with a mustache never makes that face. Do that again.
That's the face.
Everyone gets to see our messy office. Yep. I like the wheels. I like the height of it. Let's see what we got. Cobra type bucket seats. I hate those. Mazda Speed shock absorbers and aftermarket springs, aftermarket exhaust, header and exhaust, aftermarket air filter. 8-spoke wheels. They look like Watanabe's, but they're not. Aftermarket seat, tower bar, Mazda Speed shift knob, pardon me. Tool collection box, red carpets. That's kind of cool, red carpets. I think red carpets come with the special version of it. And I think that this might have been like a limited edition R2. You guys can do the Google, see if we can find this. Roadster R2 Limited. Okay, maybe not. It could be that the R2 Limited, here we go, it says it's limited to 500 cars and then it comes in white. It might have a vinyl top instead of fabric top as part of the Limited. And then this one would be just a body kit special of it. Ooh, the R2 Limited actually looks pretty nice in white with the red interior. It's good. Normal. Oh, and it looks like these speaker panels are a little bit different too. Excuse me. Okay, cool selection there. It's a 97, so you can't import it to the USA yet. That's going to hurt the price. It's also been in an accident. Front accident repaired. Left front side member, left front inner panel, front support all bent. That's kind of a big deal to me. Core support is bent. Dashboard is cracked. Left front pillar, small. One section has a small dent in it. Underside has surface rust, and the body's not perfect. It's not terrible, but it's not perfect. I'd say this would probably go for about 220,000 yen, and I think that, which is about 2,000 US dollars, I think that having this front end actually devalues it a little bit over having an original R2 with only 500 of them made. Even though like Mazda for their Roadsters had a lot of different versions that are like only 500 made, and only 500 of these, and only 500 of these ones. And then if you add them all together, they're really not that rare. So each year it was like 500 and then different special colors. So it's not really that limited, but there is a little bit of value there for having one that has the special name. Especially as they're getting older, people are going to look for these special ones a little bit more, like the V Special and the S Special. Okay, how much does the BNR 32 usually cost? Prices are going up pretty quickly, by the way. At the moment right now, you're looking at about 3 million to 6 million yen for most of them. There are a lot that go for higher than that with really low mileage, but you'll find that like the prices, woo, they go way up right at the very end of the, like when the mileage is really low, you see a big price spike. And so most of them are going to be about 5 million. I'm sorry, 3 million to 5 million. Somewhere in there, depending on the condition. Are there any particular dangers that can occur? Yes, your life is dangerous, and any dangers could occur. But if you live your life running away from dangers, then you're never going to have an enjoyable life. You're going to be 90 years old, and you're going to say, my life was safe, and I lived to 90, but I never had any fun. Mustache repair can be pricey. Mustache repair sounds very scary. It's like a horror movie, mustache repair. Because mustaches don't need repair, right? They can just be shaved right off.
Right.
So mustache repair leads me to believe that there's something...
Unless you'd have an accident and cut half of it off and you still wanted to keep the mustache, so you had to go for a different style and then tweak it.
I don't know. I'm thinking it's
I've never had a
probably
mustache.
painful.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, you know when you get an ingrown toenail? You know what they do? They put scissors in your toenail and actually cut all the way to the end of your toe.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So mustache repair is probably as painful as that.
I have never heard this before. Movember and then December.
Is there any story behind the 1997 Nissan R390, hence the short tail R390? Was it initially a concept road car? They only made one street legal version of that car as far as I know. And you don't get to buy it because whoever owns it isn't going to sell it. R390 road car. It was in Gran Turismo, so people know about it. R390 road car. Yeah, this one.
Oh, he wasn't talking about dangers of the mustache. He was talking about dangers of shipping. But great answer.
No, somebody else wrote mustache dangers.
Oh.
And I kind of knew that he didn't give enough information for me to answer it, and so I just went off. Yeah. Oh, what a good-looking car. Could you imagine that you're just driving down the street in this? So crazy that they allowed this to be like an actual street car. It is a shame that they didn't build at least like 500 of them so that they are out in the wild and people could actually buy them. Very cool. Dangers of shipping? Yeah, I mean, like, we don't have very many cars have problems with shipping, but we have had some. And so I don't know. If I were to say like a percentage, less than 1%, maybe 1/5 of 1%, actually have some serious damages. And then there's some scratches and things like that. This is a picture from a video game, actually. Ooh. Just noticed that.
He was asking about container shipping versus
Containers
Railroad
much
shipping.
more likely to get damages because when they load the containers, they put them in with forklifts, and then the way that the cars are tethered into it can lead to, if one of them comes loose, scraping on the side of your car for hours every day until somebody notices on the other side. I would say probably 5 times more likely to get damage in container, but damage is still not very likely anyway, and you should buy insurance for that. So if it's a really high-end car, Roro for sure is what I would recommend. If other cars are generally okay, like what I mean by high-end cars, if it's a car like this and has original paint, it's going to be worth several tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars more than if one of the fenders was repainted. And some cars are in that category. Most cars aren't. And so if you have a car that gets damaged in a container and you have insurance and then you get that fixed, then for most cars that's not so much of a big deal, but for some it would be. Wait, but isn't an R390 just a big and wide R34 on steroids? I don't know. I would suspect that it's not. I think that it's just like a completely bespoke race car. At least you are covered if the boat sinks. Only if you purchase insurance are you covered if the boat sinks. Otherwise, no. You could still try to get money, and we have had one customer successfully petition, or like, you can sue. I mean, you could sue for anything, and you can sue for negligence if you want. And somebody I know was able to do that on a crashed car that they didn't buy insurance for. It's crazy how they hang the car. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I don't like shipping container unless we can help it. Or if you have a non-running car, then you have to ship container. All right, Mike, tell me some good news. You got a car for me to look at, or a good question?
I think. Oh yeah, I hoped it would be. 5083 at JUIG.
Okay.
You're gonna love this.
You might not. Well, I liked the last one. That was cool. Especially the mustache. A
Oh, it's
Prelude.
the top one. Yeah.
Ooh. Ah, I see. Can we buy it?
Yes.
You know how cheap these Preludes are?
Oh really?
Yeah, the 4th generation
Oh,
Prelude is the
right.
cheapest of all now.
Yeah.
Because they're the only one that is still available in a certain number. Not like these ones are the best performing. Some people prefer the looks of this. Most people prefer the looks of the generation before it. But the Prelude isn't a car that performance people go after because of its front-wheel drive layout and because of its difficulty to get good high horsepower numbers out of a car that is of this size. But I still think that they're awesome cars, and I like the Mark IV quite a bit. But they sell for pennies because there are lots of them and people don't generally like them that much. Look at that. Oh, I love this car. Kemba has it.
You can have.
So usually a Prelude, oh, the interior is nice too. Oh, I should buy this for my daughter.
Yes.
Hey, Ayako, come take a look.
Best car ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so this generation Prelude, oh, what? They put the stickers for the tires they bought on the dashboard.
Oh.
That's something I've never seen.
That's unique.
I'm going to start doing that.
Stop this trend.
I can't breathe anymore. Yeah, so generally speaking, these cars sell for about 100,000 to 150,000 yen. So like $800 to $1,200 or so when they're in decently good condition. But this one has 206,000 kilometers, and the mileage is unknown, and it's in miles. What? Why would this be in miles? When the steering wheel is on that side.
It said something USPM on the back, but I don't understand why.
I don't know. Okay, so it looks like the person likes U.S. market stuff and then swapped out the gauges for one that is in miles from the USA because it is USDM tight, I guess. A little bit weird there. Condition, body is not bad actually. I guess you have all the stickers to distract you from any sort of body damage as well. I wish we had extra pictures of this. Let's see if we can zoom in here a little bit. Wow. I wonder, maybe somebody in the comments knows which character this is. I don't actually. I don't watch anime at all, ever. Except I have watched Initial D, but I'm not really into anime per se. Yeah, well, I think that because it has the stickers on there, it's going to drastically limit who's going to be interested in this car that has unknown mileage in it. And one place of the trim is peeling, oil leak, dashboard has glue marks on it. It's an automatic transmission. It's the SIR, which is 200 horsepower, which is pretty sweet. Well, I think the auto might be less, maybe 190 or something. Electric folding door mirrors don't work. I kind of want to buy it just because I think it would be funny. And like, what's the start price? 20,000 yen. We could probably buy it for 25,000 yen.
Yeah.
Maybe we should set a price. People in the comments tell me how much we should bid for this. And then if I think that bid price is reasonable, maybe I'll buy it. And I say maybe because I just had to fight with all of our cars that are in our lot because we have too many cars in our lot right now. And it drastically increases times for moving cars in and out when it's full. 100 yen, 1,000 yen store special. No, Bill Courtney, I can't buy this for 1,000 yen because its starting price is 20,000 yen. So it has to be at least above 20,000. $1, Bob. I'm sorry, you lose too. What is the most expensive car you sold? We don't sell cars usually. We have some inventory cars, and the most expensive inventory car we sold was 700,000 yen, but that's not our business. The most expensive car we bought was around $80,000, I think. Not US dollars though. That would be probably around 70,000 US dollars. I've done reports on cars that are more expensive that were bought through another company though, so I'm regularly reporting on cars that are up there in price. Our picture reports are so popular that everybody wants them. Okay, 500 yen. Somebody said that. 50,000 yen from Chris Shaw. 2,001 yen. Sorry, Spicy. I like the name, but you can't bid 1 yen at auction. If this car starts at 20,000 and nobody bids, and you press the bid button, you'll win it for like 21 or 22 or 23 or 25, depending on the auction. This one here is a 3,000 yen increment, so it'll be 23 is the lowest that you can buy this for.
There is a question from.
But for video content, I say 70,000 yen. It would be kind of cool to buy a car and then say, this car is for sale for anybody who wants it. But we bought it for the purpose of being funny on video. 32,000 yen. Looks like people are interested in bidding a low amount. I think it would be really... What's this at the bottom? Can you see that? There's something dangling at the bottom.
Oh, have you seen that before?
I've seen people dangling things, but I can't tell what this one is. Like
Usually
stuffed
soft
animals,
toys. Yeah,
or
yeah.
like like the train handles from the train, or heart-shaped versions of those.
Do you know what it's for?
Truck nuts. CLP says truck nut. What are truck nuts? Really?
I don't know what a truck.
Oh,
I've never
look
heard
it up.
of it.
I'm not going to do it online.
Okay.
I can describe what it is. People in the U.S. and in Canada get big trucks, and then they put plastic things that look like testicles onto the hitch of their car.
Oh yeah, I've seen the. Well,
You can
seen them
actually
on just normal like what
you
we
can
call a tow ball.
you can actually see them in Canada instead of go to the internet to see them.
Ah.
Like there's a difference, right? In the internet you can find
Truck
anything
nuts.
that you want, but it actually exists. People unironically put them on their cars. It's very odd. Google it,
Oh, yeah.
LMAO. Mike is Googling
Whoa.
it right now.
The best by far.
I can see that. If you guys want to see it, then you can go Google it yourself.
Google truck nuts. I want it to be trending.
Redneck red flag. I don't know. I come from a smaller town, and so you could call my town a redneck town as well. Maybe that's why I see so many truck nuts.
Well, that's a different take.
I can't see. Oh. Nah, I like it, but I would
prefer-
never do that to my truck. I would never have a truck that big.
I don't want this to be taken out of context, but
Okay,
I prefer the
we're
nuts.
getting off topic here. Oh, the back window. Oh man, if I show this car, I can do that as part of the video. I can show this to my daughter and see what her reaction is.
Yes. And she'd be like, I could do it better. And you'd be like, that's the project.
Yeah, so my daughter likes anime a lot. She likes drawing a lot, and she's actually really good. And so I have told her that I want her to draw me a picture that we can put onto a car, because this kind of styling is kind of popular in Japan, and then see how it turns out. And she said she's totally interested in doing that. So something like that may exist in the future. We've got another 5 minutes here. We didn't actually do an awful lot of looking at cars nor answering questions here. We're mostly just messing around with people, but it's fun. It's fun.
There is a question that Aaron Wicks has asked. He's donated $5, I think.
Really? I can't see any donations
Hey.
on mine. Oh, I do now, but they don't show up at the top. Oh, if it's over $5, it shows up at the top, but this is $4.99.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
But you can't see
Ayako,
it.
somebody gave me $5 for free.
Oh, cool.
Do you want to see? Do you want to come and say thank you? Because you...
I can't say it, right?
Ayako's my wife, and so
Oh,
if
you
I get
said it.
$5...
You said that. I can't say it.
If I get $5, then she gets $5 because basically all my money just goes to her. So come over here and say thank you to this person, unless you are ungrateful. Erin Wicks, my wife, for the time being, doesn't care about you until she comes over here and says thank you. Do it Japanese style. Do you want to put something over your face when you do it because you're embarrassed?
I have to put makeup on first.
She's not wearing makeup today. Okay, so Erin Wicks, thank you very much for giving us free money. I love it. What companies do you use to ship? How much is typical shipping to Tacoma, Washington? Can you provide us steps and contact information? Okay, which companies do we use to ship? What do we use for Tacoma? That is Hogue and...
Mainly Hogue.
Hogue is the one we use because they're the cheapest, but there are other companies that go there as well. I think NYK does. NYK goes to
yes,
Tacoma
yes.
and then up to Vancouver and then down.
Yeah.
But NYK is more expensive. So we use a company called Hogue, and they're the same company that we use to ship to Europe as well. Prices are reasonable for them, and we will always ship with the cheapest shipping company that we can find. And there aren't that many shipping companies, so it's easy to find the cheapest. How much is typical shipping to Tacoma, Washington? The price is, I think, around 67.81 US, around 67.81 US dollars per cubic meter. And so for a regular car like a Skyline, which is around 10.9 cubic meters, that would be about $1,000 or so for a regular size car. If the car can't run, it's about twice that to do roll on, roll off, which you can do to Tacoma. Not all ports can do that, but you can to Tacoma. Can you provide us steps and contact information? I think this is for somebody who wants to ship their own car to the USA, and you can't book directly with Hogue as an individual because they won't accept customers unless you're an incorporated company, and even then they don't really want to work with you unless you're doing enough volume that you know what you're doing, because it's not meant for an individual to ship with them. You need to find instead a freight forwarder or a shipping agent. And so I think we book direct with Hogue, but we still need to use an agent in order to prep the car. So they receive the car from us, and then they move the car to the shipping loading dock, and then they hire the person who actually does the loading, because that's a different company than the carrier. And so it's a bit of a complicated thing. But basically what you need to do is you need to find a freight forwarder, and I would say Erin Wicks, send us an email, and then we can give you a recommendation for somebody who can ship a car for you. But our email box is so full of other inquiries that it might take a while. So what's the name of the company that we use for shipping?
For Hogue?
No, for people who want to ship that don't want to ship through us.
Oh, I can find it.
We have like an email address for a person who can do that. But no, most of the companies that we deal with only work with other companies, and so we don't. We can't just give you our contact information for the companies that we use unless you're a registered company, in which case, if you're a registered company, it's a little bit weird to be asking us, because we have certain information that allows us to do our job very well, and by giving that out to everybody, we're increasing or somewhat increasing the chances of competition against us, but we're not receiving anything. So I think most people would agree it's kind of a stupid thing to do for a business. But consumer prices might be more expensive because generally consumers are less knowledgeable about the process of doing so. And if you are less knowledgeable about it, then the interaction between you and the shipper is going to be less smooth. And so they will compensate for that with extra money. Planet Freight?
Yes, that is it, but I would need to find the details.
There's a company called Planet Freight. There's a guy that works there that's English, and then he can ship stuff, whether it be container or roll on, roll off, and then he can do all of that for you. You may be able to find it if you just go online and then send them an email. Planet Freight. Planet Freight, and I believe they're in Kawasaki. I believe it's this company. And so you may have to call. And just a sec. Naoko, what's the name of the guy at Planet Freight that does shipping?
Shibata.
Shibata. Okay. This is going to be a little bit weird because this is a public video, but there's a guy at this company named Mr. Shibata. As long as you don't spam him or be very inconsiderate to him, then I don't mind you saying that you heard about him from us. Be very nice, though, because nobody wants to deal with people who are mean or rude or things like that. Thank you, Aaron, for doing the super chat. I really appreciate it. This is the third time that we've had somebody, so it's definitely, for me, something that I do appreciate. And I think that puts us at the very end. So thank you, everybody, for joining. We missed a little bit of time because of me turning off the power. How many viewers do we have now?
55.
55 is not bad for the very end of the chat, or this. Yeah. Hopefully next time I'm not late like I was this time. Sorry, everybody. Today is just a write-off, isn't it? But good news, my wife is in the office. Over there. Distracting our other staff, speaking Japanese.
It might be a good idea to end with how this process sort of works for looking at cars. I saw quite a few people asking about cars, pricing, that kind of thing. So maybe just like a general refresher.
Sure. Okay, so right at the very end here, if you already know this, then I guess we can just say goodbye to you, or you can watch me if you want. But so a lot of people are just curious about how to check the auctions. You can see down here there's a URL, auction.pacificcoastjdm.com, and that one is our internet search. You can also find our website by taking off the auction part, and that's our regular website with a ton of information about how to buy cars from Japan and whatnot. You basically get this screen here, and this is a live screen of all of the weekly auctions. Each auction is every week, and there are like 120 auctions across Japan. And then you can find the cars that you want here. If you want to buy from the auctions, you have to have a purchasing account, which can take 1 or 2 days to set up. So it's always a better idea to open up your purchasing account before you find the cars that you want, because in a lot of times the auctions are very quick. These are weekly. Cars come up 1 or 2 or 3 days before the auction time, and you might see a car and then say, I want to buy that car, and then email us, but then you don't have enough time to set up the purchasing account. And the reason why it takes so long is because we need a security deposit from you, because we can't bid on cars and win cars and then actually pay for them without having some sort of a guarantee that the customer's actually going to buy. If we allowed for that, we would own a lot of cars that we don't actually want, because people would go, oh, I wasn't that serious. I didn't want you to actually buy the car. I didn't realize that you had to pay for it and actually buy it. And so you send in a security deposit, sign our terms of service, which is very important. It's not like internet terms of service that nobody reads and then just accepts. You actually really need to read it carefully, because there's a lot of information when you're buying from Japan that you need to know. And if you want to have a good relationship with us, we expect you to know certain things that are very important. And then once your account is set up, then you can search the auctions for whatever cars that you like. You can buy this car. No, you can't, because we're going to buy this one. You can buy this car, or you can buy this car, or you can buy this car, and there are new cars coming up all the time, and lots of really cool, fun cars, because Japan's allowed to import cars from any country around the world, so you can get basically anything here. A lot of great Euro cars as well. And once you buy the car, you need to pay for the car and the shipping and our service fee within 3 days of the end of the auction, and so you have to be pretty quick with that. And then we'll take the car into our lot, we'll shoot the picture report, and then we're going to send that car to the to the port of export, wait for the ship there, and then it goes off to you, and then you hire an import broker in order to import that car for you. And that's the end of the process. It is a step-by-step process, so basically you get to a point, we'll tell you what to do, you do it, or in most cases you just wait and you just hear the information from us, and then you get your car. So even if it's somebody who hasn't imported before, if you're generally above the bottom 20% in terms of sharpness, you should have no issue at all. Is that rude? Is that one of the things that I shouldn't have said?
No, I don't think so.
The bottom 20% of people will maybe have issues.
In what?
In terms of sharpness is what I said.
Oh, well, no, it's
I don't
a
know.
fairly complicated process. It takes time to learn.
The first time can be a little bit more challenging than after that, but usually it's not that bad. Anyways, I'm afraid I'm going to continue to say things that I regret because this is live and I can't edit it myself. So we're going to end off here. We're going to be back again next week from 11 to 12 Japan time. It's the same time as this one, even though we went over, because I was late, we went over this time by a few minutes. But see you again next week. Ooh, make a video of that prelude if y'all get it. I love when people say y'all. Thank you very much. Hopefully Prelude goes for cheap. I am going to bid on it, but I don't know how much. I really don't want that car. I think it's funny, but an automatic with unknown mileage is really something I don't need. It's just going to stay in our lot forever. Nobody's going to... I'll just send it back to auction. Just buy it for the purpose of making the video. If I do that, you better share that video so that we can get at least some sort of advertising from it.
Yeah, because it's going to cost.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to end there. And so thanks everybody for coming in. See you again next week. Goodbye, everyone. Mike, say goodbye.
Bye.
Ayako and Naoko.
Bye.
All right.
Wow, that was nice.